last week I quietly asked the question, did we miss a Big 12 title contender in Kansas? And this week, I may be going from a whisper to not quite a scream, but I'm going to say it pretty firmly. Did we miss a legit Big 12 title contender in Kansas? Did that happen? Because Kansas was picked 9th in the Gambling Gaucho's preseason media poll. And the early returns look like that may have been disrespectful to the Jayhawks. I think I had them 9th as well because I had them at least 9th in my power rankings that I did in Open for Business. Again, ofbnews.com to subscribe. I had them picked 9th there. And I had someone, no. I had Kansas 8th because I had a BYU fan say, hey, I actually think we're legitimately better than Kansas. We should have been above them. That's my real one beef there. And I thought, well, okay, I can definitely understand that. I think Lance Leipold's a great coach, but that's kind of the difference right there. I would take Lance Leipold. I think just barely, a little bit more trust there. Plus, Kansas has the quarterback back, right? But man, if you were looking at the rest of the Kansas roster, it just looked like there was too much to replace. Devin Neal, the entire receiver room, and I just thought that receiver room was so underrated and good over the last 3 years for Kansas. 2 all Big 12 corners. I mean, it was a lot. Like that whole, some of the guys outside of Jaylen Daniels, who were the real foundation of what happened over the last 4 years with Lance Leipold, they had all left. And there were 40 new players on the team, and they had to hit the portal really hard. And it's just like, unless you have a Texas Tech-esque portal haul with this like obvious talent that a lot of people are saying is 1 or 2 in terms of the best portal classes in the country, it's hard to be like, oh yeah, well then they're going to be really good total contender status. We gotta put them right into that status. It's hard to do that. The early returns are very good on this thing, people. The early returns are very good on this thing. Kansas 31, Fresno State 7. Kansas made a change at offensive coordinator this offseason. I think that early returns on that appear to be fantastic. It's not Jeff Grimes. Things were very, very sluggish for him starting, combined with, I think, some rust that Jaylen Daniels was trying to knock off last year after he missed so much of the 23 season injured. Now, Jim Zabrowski is one of your co-offensive coordinators. He's been on the staff with Andy Kotelnicki, who was an all-star as Kansas's offensive coordinator. He had been the quarterback coach. Matt Lubick, who's the other co-offensive coordinator, he was on staff in 22 and 23 as an offensive analyst. Like, these guys were around when Andy Kotelnicki was just, to me, running the most fun and perhaps productive offense in the Big 12. I mean, it was so damn fun to watch, unless you were playing it, right? Like, that's what you didn't want. And it was like Kansas went away from that to go hire Jeff Grimes, who had, it was certainly debatable how great his career had been at offensive coordinator at the P6 level. Now, or P5 level. I say that he gets hired at Wisconsin, and that's why he's not there. So I don't know. Maybe there's just something I'm missing, but it did not jive. It did not work at Kansas. And that offense that Kansas ran on Saturday, that sure looked a lot like an Andy Kotelnicki offense. It was fun. There was a triple option. They kind of leak somebody out and then throw it back to the back. I mean, it was so creative. The Ball State transfer receiver, I apologize, Kansas fans, I'm blanking on his name. But the way they creatively used him basically like out of the backfield for those 2 kind of swing pass touchdowns, it looked a lot like Kotelnicki. And I have been consistent in what I've said. You can call me a lot of things, but you can't call me inconsistent on what I have thought about Andy Kotelnicki and that Kansas offense from a couple of years ago. I thought he was a massive stud. There's a reason he's at Penn State. Shout out to our Penn State fan. I hope he's still around in the chat at this point. There's a reason that he coached them to a Final Four last year. Like, the guy is really, really good. And it made that thing go, and Jaylen Daniels was like a perfect quarterback for it when he was healthy. College football season is here, guys, and that means we all need to find good deals on tickets, all right? And the best place to do that is SeatGeek. I have to give a huge shout-out to SeatGeek, the sponsor of today's video. With over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. There are over 70,000 events listed on SeatGeek. So obviously, college football is covered, but if you're a music guy like me, it's perfect for concerts. I'm buying a ton of concert tickets this fall. I tell you what, I have my eye on those Holy War tickets for BYU and Utah coming up as well. And man, all you got to do is open up the app. It's perfect. You can go check what's going on here, find the green dots in the seat. That means they're good deals. Red dots, maybe not so much, but SeatGeek will help you find the best deals on seats depending on where it is that you are trying to sit. They're each rated on a scale of 1 to 10. Every ticket is backed by their buyer guarantee. And you guys know I'm here for you. I've got a code for you. Code Kurtz gets you $20 off your tickets. Again, that's code Kurtz for $20 off tickets at SeatGeek. $20 off your first purchase with promo code Kurtz. Make sure you just click the link in the description to download the app and have that code on hand and ready to go. Guys, I'm here to help you out. I've got your back. Hit up my friends at SeatGeek. And he looked confident. He looked sharp and crisp outside of taking some big hits. And I would share some of that concern that I saw people having for like, oh, man, I don't know that you need him taking big hits like that against Fresno with his injury history. But he was basically perfect, guys. I mean, Jaylen Daniels was basically perfect in this offense that looked exactly like what it used to. 18 of 20, 176 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, 8 carries for 47 yards. Kansas scored on 4 of their first 5 drives. Jaylen Daniels looked confident as hell. He looked totally in control. And the offense just looked fun and flashy, man. The other thing about this Kansas offense, when it's humming, when it looked like that, and when it looks like it did on Saturday, it's like, can you imagine recruiting to that? That looks great. You know, if you're a quarterback, it's like, dude, all this motion that we do, like I get guys high school wide open because of all the motion. And then if you're a tight end, like, man, get you involved in really creative ways. If you're a receiver, we'll find totally creative ways to get you the football too. It's great. And it looked awesome. Now, the question will be, and I know a lot of you are pushing back on me a little bit, certainly we're early because of the title of this video. Are we watching 3 Big 12 playoff contenders in week 0? Is Kansas a legitimate playoff contender? I mean, fair question to ask. Like, is Fresno that bad? Matt Entz is a new head coach. They went 6-7 last year. They have a ton of new faces. They had a new starting quarterback who's on the road for the first time. And it was a full house where it's basically homecoming for Kansas, right? They didn't play a home game in 23 at that stadium. They have all these new fans back. So how do you know exactly what Fresno is? You don't. But that was dominant. That was total ass kicking. That was as good as you could have looked, I think, really in that spot if you are Kansas. I don't know that there's much that they could have done better. Penalties, I guess. I know it seemed like the offensive line, I guess, had some issues with penalties, but I don't know what more you could have really asked from Kansas in that spot. So the early returns seem very good and very, very promising. We will know a lot more in 2 weeks when they go to Mizzou. Like week 2 of the official football season, this being week 0, right? So they'll play a game against Wagner. We're not going to learn anything there. They're going to go to Mizzou after that, and we're going to learn a lot about Kansas at that point and whether or not you should be taking them seriously as a contender. But I would just tell you this should at least put them on your radar. This should put them on your radar. Lance Leipold's a hell of a coach, man. He's a hell of a coach. And if they really pull this off and become a contender with 40 new players on the roster and just totally reloading after everything they lost last year, you gotta really recognize that. I don't know that dude's going anywhere in terms of being a real thorn in the side and one of the best coaches in the Big 12. Thorn in the side of the rest of the league. So right now, am I ready to fully say that we saw 3 Big 12 playoff contenders playing in week 0? No, I think you had, I would say 2, but I would divvy it up like this. I would say 1, some of you are going to hate this, the way that I do this. I would say 1 is Iowa State, outlined already before, because Iowa State has one of their toughest games out of the way and a fairly manageable looking Big 12 schedule right now. And then I would give like a half to K-State, where I think, I mean, if you believe Iowa State's a legit contender, K-State was right there. And then beyond that, I'm going to give Kansas a half right now for looks like they're really ascending, could have something really figured out this year. And, but we need to see how it looks against real competition that we know is legitimate. We're not really sure about Fresno. So I would say 2, but we're going 1 and 1/2 and 1/2. How's that for a take? How's that for a take, everybody?